Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload many videos for Gemini and Sagittarius on Wednesdays. Also, the deck that I'm using today is called the Solo Busca Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description below. Also, just as a heads up, these cards are a little bit bigger than I'm used to working with, so sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get cards to flip out. But the goal here is to get roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then you can get started on your reading. Also, sometimes the cards will flip over in the deck. I do see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they jump like these ones did. And usually if they jump in too big of groups, I'll put them back. I will, however, take these ones though. Alright, so I'm just going to take this moment to remind you guys that if you enjoy the reading, please leave a like or a comment. It really helps out the channel, and it's the best way for me to know if the reading resonates with you guys. But your overall energy here is the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups is a very good card to have, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, right? Because cups refer to emotional messages or even intuitive things. So I feel like right now you guys are currently in an energy where you're feeling very intuitive and you're feeling very sort of that lovey-dovey kind of a feeling, or you're seeing some kind of new beginning in love. And I don't think it necessarily has to be romantic love. I do feel like there's, for some of you at least, a new beginning in some kind of familiar love. I feel like you guys are going to see a lot of reconciliation with your extended family right now, especially if there's been some kind of a drama. But it's very interesting because I see a lot of energy here that's in reverse. But the reason I bring it up is because we have the Judgment and the World card here. And those two cards are the last two major arcana of the deck. And to see them both in reverse kind of concerns me that you're experiencing some blockages that you're not exactly either, like, regardless of if you're actively or not. But that's not exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, regardless of if it's by your design or not, like, there is some kind of a blockage here. So with the World card, we see a blockage in an ending because it's in, well, for one, it's in reverse, and that's why we see the blockage. But the World card talks about endings, whereas the Fool card talks about beginnings. So we have this energy here of you guys being in this blocked space where you're not exactly letting an ending occur, or you're too attached to an outcome. And I feel like to some degree it has to do with this Queen of Swords here. So the Queen of Swords is an air sign, and for some of you that might be an air sign individual, which, or sorry, so the Queen of Swords can represent an air sign. So those air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So for some of you, there may be a prominent woman in your life who has these air sign qualities or is an air sign. If she happens to be an air sign or if she happens to be a woman, like, just take those to be extra confirmations. Like, this can also be a man. It's just somebody who has these qualities of what the Queen of Swords in reverse would be like. So the Queen of Swords in reverse is very cutthroat, oftentimes very insensitive, very domineering, emotionally immature as well, and very quick to cut people off, and just very cold in general. Like, the Queen of Swords in reverse is a total ice queen. So I feel like there's somebody in your life who either has those qualities or is embodying those qualities, and you may be too attached to them. Like, for some of you, it might be a mother figure. For others of you, it might be a partner of some kind. But I'm definitely seeing here that they're either not allowing you to have this new beginning via the ending of the World card, or you're just too attached to them and not allowing that to come in. But I do see good news here. The Seven of Pentacles is always a good sign, because the Seven of Pentacles talks about planting a seed and sort of watering it, right? A metaphorical seed, if you will. Seed of intention. So I feel like you guys are really reaping your rewards for things that you've been putting your hard work into, which I think is really good. We also have the Six of Cups here. And it's very interesting because I believe we had this exact same combination in the Gemini reading, but it was reversed, if I'm not mistaken. We had the Six of Cups up here and the Seven of Cups down here. So it almost feels like, whereas they were letting go of childish behavior, you're sort of letting your inner child out, right? So I feel like you guys have been trying to embody this, oh, I am a businessman, or I'm a businesswoman, I'm all serious kind of an energy for too long. And, you know, you guys need to sort of cut loose and play a little bit. I feel like you've sort of neglected your inner child for a little bit, but now you're letting it come through. And I feel like in part you've neglected it because of this Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords will absolutely neglect her own inner child and probably tell you, oh, you shouldn't be immature, oh, you shouldn't have fun, that's not useful, that's not productive, or something of that sort. But with the Judgment card here, with the Hierophant here, I feel like you guys need to sort of carve your own path a little bit, because the Hierophant talks about tradition, and I feel like because you have this Judgment in reverse, you've sort of been conforming to tradition a little bit to avoid the Judgment. But I feel like in reality you want to do something more creative, especially with this inner child energy. It's almost like you want to take an alternative career path for some of you guys, maybe something in like technology, or some kind of an area, some kind of a field that hasn't really been completely explored, so it's a little bit dicey. I feel like a lot of you guys might be wanting to become entrepreneurs. Like, we've got some people that have invented something similar to like the potato peeler here, like something that is risky, very risky. And I feel like you want to do that, but you haven't, because you're worried about judgment coming from either your peers, your family, or this Queen of Swords in particular. But I feel like that has caused a burden to you, right? Because we have this Ten of Wands, and we have this Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups sort of, to me, is tying everything full circle here with this with this Ace of Cups. So we have this love energy at the beginning and at the end, and then we have these two cards that lead up to an ending and then into a beginning. So it feels like you're sort of blocked and you're halfway in between the door. I feel like you have one foot through the threshold, and then you have the other foot outside the door. And with with the Nine of Wands here, the Nine of Wands talks about healing. So I feel like there's a lot of things here that we need to really work on in order to have this Knight of Cups be able to come forth and really take advantage of all this love energy. I feel like with the Nine of Cups, you're working on a lot of things, and I feel like in part it has to do with this judgment. And you're kind of trying to avoid the Ice Queen's judgment. But I feel like once you're able to really stand your ground with this Nine of Wands, you're going to be able to sort of confront to this Ice Queen and then have a new beginning. Because we have, like I said, like I just want to point out that we have 2 cards that lead up to an ending and then a new beginning in the wings, but it's sort of all blocked. And I really do feel like it's because of this energy. And the Queen of Swords doesn't necessarily have to be one person. It can be multiple people. It could be a whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for isn't institution, but it could very well be an institution. It could just be your whole office. For some of you guys, everyone at your office might have it out for you, and you might be like the target to bully or whatever. But whatever the case is, like, I see you making a lot of strides towards this, and I see you finishing out a lot of things and beginning this new beginning. But that was your reading, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed it this time around, please consider leaving a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Sagittarius videos on Wednesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.